Yeah, the anticipation for this film's been unlike anything I've ever been a part of, and it's pretty exciting. Very excited to show it to the fans tonight. You know, to a glimpse of it anyway. And this, you know, the fans are why we do this, and why we stay in a job, and why we're able to live out this dream. So it feels great to be able to share this experience with them early in the film's release. You know, it's a special thing. So I remember back from the first Avengers film. You know, there was a lot of talk of, you know, are people going to have, you know, or is there going to be this superhero fatigue? And yet, this is the most enthusiasm I've ever seen, and the most anticipation, the biggest excitement, and yeah, it's a pretty special thing to be a part of. You know? There's a lot of people, obviously, you know, waiting to find out where we left off. We left pretty dramatic in Infinity War, and you know, waiting with bated breath to see what's going to happen from here on. I mean, the first time I played Thor, you know, was obviously, that was a big highlight just in my life, in my career. It was the introduction to the Marvel Universe, and then yeah, I'd say Thor Ragnarok was a whole different tonal sort of shift for me, and then working on these two films in particular was such a nostalgic sort of feel, because we knew it was the culmination of 22 films, so it was pretty amazing.
I mean, you know, anticipation's really high for this film. I think we're really excited to finally be able to share the smallest piece of the movie with an audience. We're going to be really excited April 22nd in Los Angeles when we actually show the whole thing to an audience. But we've been keeping the secrets on this movie for 3 years now.
We're literally not showing it to anybody until days before it opens around the world.
Even the actors,
even the cast. The cast hasn't seen the film. Well, look, this Endgame is the conclusion of the 22 movie run that audiences have been following since beginning 11 years ago with the first Iron Man film. So they can expect a sort of epic final chapter in that book that we've all been reading together.
I mean, the biggest challenge, obviously, is just making sure that the story is as compelling and that it's a fitting conclusion to 10 years of storytelling. So, you know, that's the focus. That's been our focus over the last few months, is just making sure that the story is as complete as it can be.
Well, it's a very strange feeling to be involved in a movie that has such anticipation. In fact, I don't know of another movie that has had this much anticipation. So it's overwhelming at times. We're just kind of starting this press tour, and when we see the crowds of people gather where we're going to be, it's you know, it reminds me a little bit of some of that old footage of people milling about when the Beatles were on Ed Sullivan, or you know, One Direction is in town, or something like that. I see people standing outside on the street because they're so excited to maybe catch a glimpse of Robert Downey Jr. I'm going to go with Robert Downey Jr. on that one. One of the things I love about playing Scott Lang is that he's a regular guy, and so amongst this group of superheroes, he seems to be kind of just very naturally overwhelmed by the situation and by them, and so I think it's a nice, a relatable quality, and it's a fun quality to play, because I feel as if maybe the audience is feeling some of the same things that Scott is feeling. There are a lot of things that I enjoy about being a part of this franchise. The number one thing is just getting to know all the people that are involved, because it's a really nice group of people. And you know, when you watch a movie, it's a couple of hours, but when you work on a movie, it's a couple of months, and so you want to enjoy the time. And it sure goes by a lot more. It's a lot better. Time is much more fun when the people are so great. And then, of course, to be involved in something that's so massive is a one-off. I'll never experience anything like this again. Some of my favorite fan interactions that I've had now that I've played Ant-Man, without a doubt, have been with kids, because kids are, you know, they tell you exactly what they think, and when they are excited about meeting, you know, these superheroes and some of the Avengers, it's just so joyous, and it's a really, really nice experience. It's been with kids, 100%.
It would be like impossible to put into words just the journey of this past decade of time. I mean, really the character has grown we've sort of grown together in a way, and I think as the characters found her own voice and really is comfortable, more and more comfortable with her true self and knowing, you know, what she wants and what she needs, it sort of echoed my own experience, and it's been very. It's impossible to put into words how meaningful that is for me. I can't really elaborate on Avengers the Fallen because it probably is too. I'd be giving too much away, but I can certainly say. I was like, somebody asked me, well, what does the Avengers the Fallen mean to you? And I was like, make right by a wrong. I don't know. It's too hard to put it into words without giving everything away.
That's a great question. What can audience expect to see? I think if you've been invested as a fan in the last 10 years and you've spent your time with, characters, say, from the first Iron Man till now, you're going to definitely want to see this movie, and you're definitely not going to want to take any restroom breaks because there is not one single moment in the movie that you can say, now's a good time to run to the restroom, because you don't want to miss any moments out of it because everything is just going to come and piece together nicely. The heroes, it's our heroes are going to do whatever they can in order to try to stop our bad guys. Infinity War, with the devastation that Thanos did at the end of the movie, we've never done that before where our heroes lost. This is the first time they've ever been completely at a loss because of what Thanos did. So that line, whatever it takes, really holds true to what our hero's mentality is going into this movie. And in their mind, they're going to do whatever it takes in order to try to stop the bad guys. I think a lot of fans connect to the Marvel Cinematic Universes because, look, a lot of these fans started from, say, they were 10 years old and they grew up with every single movies, and it's one of those experiences that they, their dad took them or their mom took them when they were young, and they've actually lived most of their lives in this universe and have grown to love all of these characters. So, starting with Iron Man, I mean, Robert Downey Jr. has completely, created Tony Stark in a way where we all relate and connect to him in a way where now 10 years later, they've invested all this time. So it's like this is the movie to catch. The way Infinity War and Endgame, we actually shot these two movies back to back. So, and with Infinity War, we had a lot of connective franchises and characters come together. So we worked closely with the other teams, with the other directors, to make sure that the characters from each of their franchises are follow through, and the characters are brought over to our movie to ensure and preserve like what they've spent time, working on in the last year or so in the other movies, and make sure that it's preserved here, but as well as going towards a direction that we want the characters to go in.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey You Guys, huh?
Hey You Guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yes.
Nice.
Hey